there is what is probably a simple change that you can institute in your site within just moments, probably for free, that can make a big difference in your website's performance. Now, the reason I'm saying probably and all those kinds of things is that every once in a while, for somebody of the kind of people who follow me, 95% of the time, it's a simple change. About 5% of the time, there'll be somebody who will have a problem. And I'm going to show you how to make it happen. And if you're one of the 5%, the 1 in 20 who it doesn't work, how to instantly reverse it so that you can fix it. Okay? So here's what that change is. You want your site to be HTTPS, not HTTP. Now, before you run screaming for the door because I just got technical on you, I'm going to try to do this entire thing as very simply as possible without getting into a lot of jargon and a lot of difficulties. And there are some technical people out there who are cringing because I'm not explaining a bunch of things to you. But I'm just going to give you a surface explanation so hopefully you've got just enough to be able to figure out whether you're going to be one of the 19 who it's going to work for instantly. Okay? All right. So what in the world is HTTPS? Basically, this is a secure data transfer protocol. Okay, big words. Here's what it means. Here's your website host. When somebody calls your page, your home page, what it does is it sends an encrypted version of that page to their computer. Their computer then decrypts it and they can read it in normal language. So when this one sends it, everything in between is sent as gobbledygook. People can't tell. It's got Q's and ampersands and things and all kinds of things going on in it. And then on the other end, your computer goes, oh, decrypt, boop. And all of a sudden it's your beautiful language coming out. Okay, that's all it is it encrypts it, sends it encrypted. On the other end, your computer says, oh, it's encrypted, let's decrypt it and make it be readable. Okay, that's all this is. Now, why is that important? Well, first off, it keeps you and your visitors safe. One of the problems of having an HTTP site is that between this one and this one, if it's not send encrypted, other people have the ability to intercept that and stick their own data in. So they could do things like maybe put ads in the middle of your website. So maybe you've got a dishonest web host. And so they grab it in between and stick in some ads that when people click on them, pay them money. Okay? Or let's just say somebody's trying to get to you. So they stick porn or they stick some illegal stuff in there that you didn't intend. You know, your site's good, but when it's sent non-encrypted, then people can get in between and start doing what's called injecting information into your code so that when it gets to the other side, it looks like it's from you, but it's not. That's the reason why we do this. Okay. Now, here's the other reason why is that Google loves this. In fact, they've gone so far as to basically mandate it. They basically said, hey, anyone who does not have a secure website, HTTPS, is going to be increasingly penalized in the search engine rankings. And eventually we're going to come to the point where there's going to be like brilliant red flags flashing on screens and in the corners and things like that say, this site is not secure, don't go there, all that bad kind of stuff. So you don't want that happening. So you really need to solve this problem for yourself if you have not solved it yet. Okay. So, all right. So you may be asking, first off, how do I know whether I have to solve this problem or not? All right. Here's what you do. Go type in your URL. Look in the URL bar. Does it say, do you have a little lock there? If you have, you're in good shape. You've already done this. Somebody's already done it for you. If it shows a broken lock, so the little lock is open, then you got a problem and you need to do this. Okay, it's that simple. Now, it's probably for most of us. So I'm assuming that most of us aren't doing high, like e-commerce sites, high communication of data back and forth. Those get much more complex when it comes to making something secure. For most of us that have a website with some blog pages and some landing pages and some sales pages, it's pretty simple. And so, as I said, it's probably a 1 in 20 chance that something's going to go wrong for you. And so it's probably simple, maybe hard. So, but the cool thing is if it's hard, you can immediately fix it. So I'm going to give you a 2-step process. Step 1. Call up your website hosting service. Tell them, ask them to do 2 things. Number 1, install HTTPS. And if they say, oh, you can do that on the control panel, say, I'm not very good at this tech stuff. Would you just do it for me? Okay. The second thing you're going to ask them to do is to set up a redirect from HTTP to HTTPS. What that does is, and it's literally 1 line of code in one particular file. They know what it is. They know how to do all this. All it's doing is if someone types in HTTP, they're just going to say, oh, what they really meant was HTTPS. And so they'll just send it to your secure version of your site. It's that simple. Okay. Now, this should be free. They should do it for you for free. And it should take them literally minutes. It literally takes about 2 minutes to do this entire process. Give them an hour. If they're going to push you back and they're going to say, oh, you've got to do what's called buying a certificate. Or if they say, I will do that, but it'll cost you $100 or something like that. What they're doing is they're charging you $100 to do about 2 minutes worth of work. And if they want you to pay for a certificate, if you're not running an e-commerce site, and I don't mean you sell your course. I mean, you're running an e-commerce site where there's 43 items and that can be put into a shopping cart. In that case, you probably need to go buy a certificate. But for most of us, you don't need to buy a certificate. There are free ones out there. So if they want to charge you money or want to force you to pay for a certificate, then I suggest you change website hosts. It's really easy in today's world. Just go sign up for a different one. I recommend SiteGround. SiteGround will just take care of it for you. Literally, every time I set up a new website, I create the domain name, I create the site, and then I call them up and I say, make it secure. And then I load all the data and everything. It's just like number 3 in my process of doing things. All right. Okay. Once you've done that, so you give them an hour to do that, okay? Then go test it. What you're doing is you're either looking for that lock in the corner to be locked, or you're looking for the URL to start with HTTPS once the whole page gets loaded on your page, on your screen. If that's true, then you're now in secure mode, okay? Now, what you're doing is you then look at your site and you look for 3 things. Number 1, broken images that weren't broken before. Number 2, broken pages. For most of you, this won't apply, but it could apply. Number 3 is broken forms. Test a couple of your forms, make sure they work. If those 3 things work and you have the lock in the corner, you're in good shape. Congratulations. Okay? And you don't have to worry about it. So if it looks good, great, celebrate. If there are problems, then, and let's say one image is broken. Well, you can go fix that image. Just go into your WordPress or whatever and reload that image and it'll take care of it automatically. What it's trying to do is trying to pull a non-secure version of that image into your secure page, and that's what the problem is. But if your site is just totally trashed, then here's what you do. You pick up the phone, you call them back and you say, hey, I called a few minutes ago, had you turn on HTTPS and do a redirect. I need you to undo both of those. Okay. Now they may go, wow. You say, oh, but Okay, that's what I pay you for. So undo both of those. Then what you probably have to do is if you have problems and you're not technical, then you probably ought to hire somebody to fix it for you. And I'll tell you, it probably, if you have a typical site that's got like 50 pages total, we're talking under $100 to fix this. It's not a hard fix. Okay. Again, if you got e-commerce or have tons of data going back and forth where people are submitting data to you, you're submitting data back, that's a separate, much more technical thing, and you'll have to deal with that. But if it's a typical 50 pages, some blog pages, some sales page, that kind of thing, it should be less than $100 from somebody to fix it. If you're a technical person, you can easily fix it. What I recommend that you do is if it's broken and you're technical and you want to fix it, go to one of the mini tools like SEMrush or Ubersuggest or Ahrefs and just run their site audit tool. What it'll do is it'll go grab every page on your site and it'll tell you what's broken. By the way, I actually recommend you do this even if your site comes out looking beautiful after the conversion to HTTPS. Just this last weekend, I ran a site audit tool on a site that I had recently moved from one place to another, and I discovered that I'd put 2 images on there that were on every single page. They're on my opt-in form, and they were broken images in terms of being non-secure images being fed on a secure page. Okay, and so I just went and literally changed them on one page, which made it happen on all the pages, and it was fixed. So, but I wouldn't have found that out without running that site audit tool. So I recommend that whatever you do, this is actually a good idea. Go sign up for a free trial, run a site audit on your site, and go fix the problems. And oftentimes it's literally half an hour of fixing and can totally make your site be unbroken. Congratulations. Wouldn't it be nice if we could fix humans like that? Okay, run an hour and they'll be unbroken, and that would be cool. Okay, all right. So that's what it is. We just want you to be HTTPS, not HTTP. And the result of that is that your site protects you, it protects your user, and probably what's going to end up happening is you're going to get better search engine rankings as a result. The converse of that is if you're not, what's going to happen is if you haven't started already, you're going to start losing search engine traffic as your rankings go down in Google and other places. This is a simple fix. I suggest you do it and just follow that technique. Give them a call. Say, I want you to change it. Call your web host. I want you to change it to HTTPS and do a redirect from HTTP to HTTPS. That's it. And if it works, you're in great shape and you're done. All right. So I'm not really a technical person, even though sometimes I try to explain technical things on a non-technical basis. I'm not like the geek who gets in it when I need it. I go hire a geek when I need a geek to get in and do it. If you have questions about this, I may be able to answer them. I may not. Feel free to ask and just be prepared. I may say, I don't know. That happens all the time. So, okay. Let me know how this is going for you. Let me know, is your site HTTPS already? Is it secure? Let me know in the comments. This is Don Crowther saying, just go do this stuff.